All right, so here we have this psychologist saying, there's a lot going on here. We have our psychologist saying, it is well known that becoming angry often induces temporary incidents of high blood pressure. Is this a causation or a correlation statement?
Causation?
Causation, yes. So this is different than a correlation because we're actually saying here that becoming anger, so if you become angry, that actually causes high blood pressure, right? Like there's no debate there. So high blood pressure. All right, so then we go into our second sentence and it says, a recent study further showed, however, that people who are easily angered are significantly more likely to have permanent high blood pressure than are people who have more tranquil personalities. So the second sentence, what is this sentence? Is this causation or correlation?
Correlation.
Yes. So do we see the difference between these two sentences? The first one, we're saying anger causes high blood pressure, where this one, we're just saying that if you're more easily angered, what should be the more likely signal? I feel like I need like more likely to have high blood pressure. So this is just a correlation statement. Coupled with the long established fact that those with permanently high blood pressure are especially likely to have heart disease. So once again, is this statement causation or is this one just correlation?
Correlation.
Correlation, excellent. So if you have permanent high blood pressure, then you are likely to have heart disease. So then our conclusion is this last sentence, and we're saying the recent findings indicate that heart disease can result from psychological factors. So what, why are we saying that? Brittany, do you know why we're saying it? Why are we making this conclusion?
Because of becoming angry induces temporary incidences of high blood pressure.
Yeah, so we're saying, hey, since being angry causes high blood pressure and there's this correlation between the more easily you're angered, the more likely you are to have permanent high blood pressure. And there's this other correlation between having high blood pressure, between having high blood pressure and heart disease. So we're trying to take this and say that it causes this, right? Because the psychological effects are being angry. Do we all agree? Are we all on the same page to this point? All right, so what is the flaw here?
For me, I thought, what if the other is just causing the, like the former is causing the latter or the latter is causing the former?
So a correlation causation flaw, right?
Yeah.
So we're thinking that so how do we know that being angry is causing heart disease? And heart disease isn't causing people to be angry or other things, correct? So one way that we can weaken this question is by exposing this flaw and showing that these things are not actually correlated. Or what's the other way that we can, what's another really good way to weaken an argument? Katie?
Introducing like an alternative reason.
So not in this case, it wouldn't be an alternative reason, it would be an alternative cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So a lot of us, so let's go through these. So we have a lot of people are saying B and C were our top two choices, and then probably E. But we'll go through all of them. Okay, so let's start with A. Those who are easily angered are less likely to recover fully from episodes of heart disease than other people. Does that do anything to weaken our argument? No. Just because those are easily angered are less likely to fully recover doesn't mean that almost strengthens it in a way. It at least strengthens that there's a correlation. And then D says those who discover that they have heart disease tend to become more easily frustrated by small difficulties. So if you have heart disease, then you're more likely to be frustrated. So why is this one wrong, Angelica?
Why is D wrong?
Yeah, D is in dog.
Oh, because they know, but we don't know if they know.
Well, I think this is saying that heart disease causes you to be frustrated. D was actually my second favorite answer.
Okay, because I had originally put D, and I was like, okay, this kind of shows the flaw or whatever I was trying to attack it. But then I just realized whenever it's like those who discover, and I was like, oh, we haven't said that in the stimulus, and that wouldn't actually weaken the argument that you need that condition then, right?
Yes, and this is saying that if you have heart disease, you already have the heart disease. So if we already have heart disease, so how does that weaken that psychological factors are causing heart disease? If we have heart disease and then we start getting mad, that's not telling us that something else is causing the heart disease.
Okay.
I thought D was like my tempting wrong. I had to think about D for a second. All right, so why is C wrong? Who wants to explain why C is wrong? Katie, do you know?
I almost thought that C strengthened it because it's saying that people with permanently high blood pressure who have tranquil personalities never develop heart disease. Well, that's showing that the difference between those that do develop heart disease and don't could stem from them having an angrier personality. So
Yeah,
I didn't think
C strengthens it 100%. So because people that have high blood pressure that also have mild heart disease that have mild personalities never get heart disease. Well, then it's not the blood pressure that's causing the heart disease. So it must be those that have angry personalities with high blood pressure. All right. So B and E, go ahead and read over these and put your answer in the chat of what you think. Again. Awesome. Okay. So B is tempting. But Katie, your reasoning for why E is correct is 100%. She's like, E is spicier. And it's true. Because if we're going to narrow it down, I was going to say this when you were debating between answer choices in the chat. When we get down to 2, we have to ask ourselves, what is more specific to just this argument? So B, if E wasn't there, I would say B, I could see how B could work, but it says medication designed to control high blood pressure can greatly affect the moods. Do we know what that mood is? So that's why it's not specific enough. Like if it could say medication designed to control high blood pressure, how can we make this answer choice better? Cora?
Change the moods to actual anger.
Yes, can greatly make us angry.
Yeah.
Then we would know, because like what if this medication is actually affecting our mood and just calming us down?
Right. I gave the answer way too much credit because I assumed affective moods was anger.
Yes. So do we see that? Where
Yeah.
it says the physiological factors. So the physical factors that cause permanent high blood pressure generally make people quick to anger. So this is giving us a different reason for what is causing everything.
But none of the answer choices were strong.
No, and that's what made this one hard.
Yeah, that's none of them were strong. Like if I were to look for strong language, and they all have they're all relative. Like generally is a relative word.
And like generally it's like means more often than not, at least. And even this says can greatly.
I know, that's why I said every one of them had a relative term in it, because I looked for that first.
So yeah, this is one where you really have to understand the flaw. And I was like, okay, I need something to show that this is just a correlation and not a causation. And so the physiological factors that cause the permanent high blood pressure generally make people quick to anger. So we're saying that rather than people that, so why does that mean that heart disease does not come from being psychological? So why is that? Janati?
For E.
Why does it work?
For me, I don't know why. I just remember strength in question, and I remember something that helped. It was like parallel to this question, but I was just looking for an answer choice that just showed that, okay, maybe it's the other way around, or it's saying that high blood pressure isn't causing, or.
But see, this one's tricky because it's saying that high blood pressure makes people quick to anger. It's not actually bringing in the heart disease.
It's given an alternate
explanation, yeah, and it's not super strong because of that. But what we're assuming is that that the high blood, we're assuming that the permanently high blood pressure, people with the permanently high blood pressure are especially likely to have heart disease. So then we're assuming that whatever causes this is it, but really we're changing it around by saying, hey, just because it's well known that becoming angry can allow temporary incidents of high blood pressure, we're really focusing on this second sentence that says that people who are easily angered are significantly more likely to have blood pressure than those with more. That's the sentence we're really weakening with this answer choice. I thought it was hard.
No, it was. I think this one took me so long because I really wanted C to be right, and I kept reading it hoping that it would change and be right, and it wasn't.
I was gonna say that I feel like I'm gonna put this on pause for a second or stop. Okay.